You are losing money every day by not knowing this one thing. Hi, my name is Aaron Dax. I have been an investor and entrepreneur for about 8 years now. I have lost tens of thousands of dollars, but I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars through real estate, stocks, a bit more lucrative stuff as well. Now my main goal is for you to see that same kind of wealth without making the same mistakes I did and a heck of a lot faster. Anyway, enough of that, let's get into it. Now, one thing in the past that I would never take into consideration that I'm very glad that I know to do now, and you're probably doing the same thing, to determining whether an investment, a certain savings account, a certain strategy that you have is actually worth it, we need to take into account the true return. So it means we need to take into account inflation. As of April 2026, the current interest rate is about 3.7%. And this statistic is from the Reserve Bank of Australia, or as you know, the RBA. Now, this is saying your buying power is going down by 3.7% annually. Now, imagine you have a savings account, and in that savings account, you're losing money every month. And the more you put in there, the more money that you're losing. That is essentially what's happening behind the scenes without you even realizing it. Sadly, our money nowadays is just debt. There is nothing actually backing it apart from us all agreeing that it's something we want to use. But in saying that, it is still being printed. It is still being fabricated out of thin air, and that is devaluing all of our money. And I guess a great example of that would be if gold were growing on trees, it wouldn't be very valuable anymore. And another really interesting thing that people don't really take into account is a lot of assets actually aren't necessarily going up in value. It's actually that your money is going down in value, and asset prices are rising relative to that. Now, with that said, let's get into how you can adjust your strategy, take into account inflation, and actually grow your money, not just stagnate or decline. Now, one thing that would be the easiest, I don't know what you can all do, is changing your savings account. If your savings account is anything less than 3.7, or we'll just say 3.5 in case you're watching this a few months from now and they increase interest rates again and inflation goes down a little bit. Let's say if your interest rate is less than 3.5%, you are losing money every day. So the big part of this would be looking for bank accounts and interest rates for your savings that exceed that 3.7%. That way your buying power and your money isn't slowly being eroded by inflation. The second best thing you can do is invest in assets. This could be gold and silver. This could be shares in a company. This could be businesses. This could be real estate, or something that appreciates and doesn't appreciate. That is an asset. Now, the reason you want to get your hands on assets is because money is slowly going down. Now, you can put it in a savings account, or you can put it in an offset account if you have a property, and the high interest rate on your savings account or the offset account will mean you're actually saving or making more than inflation, which is great. But let's say, for example, with the S&P 500, that has averaged about a 10% annual return for the last, I think it's 40 years, meaning that if your inflation for the Australian dollar is 3.7% and you're earning 10%, your true return before taking account fees and etc. is 6.3%, which is a heck of a lot better than potentially 1 or 2% or losing money. Now, the third thing you can do is you can earn more money. This could be through rental income, this could be through dividends, this could be through a job increase or a raise. Whatever it may be, earning more money, allowing you to save and invest more, or keep up with that inflation, and is still maintaining your buying power. But if you aren't aware, wages have not gone up anywhere near as asset prices have. So I don't know if you guys are really feeling the effect, but here's a great statistic that I like to think about. So my parents, they bought their house for, I think it was roughly $70,000. Beautiful place, big 900 square meter block in Canberra. That was sold for a whopping $900,000. That is a massive return. But parents' wages went from 25K all the way up to nearly 100,000. So that shows us that wages aren't keeping up anywhere near as much as asset prices are rising. So absolutely, I would recommend buying assets. And before you say anything, no, a car is not an asset, it is a liability. So for all you JDM car fiends out there, A for effort, but that is not the case. So to wrap it all up, something that I never took into account was inflation. And for certain investments and savings accounts that I had, I was actually losing money. So before you do anything going forward, make sure you take into account inflation when you're investing, when you're buying assets, even with your savings account. Because right now, without you even realizing it, you might be losing money every day. Now, a big reason I started this community is to provide a ton of value. And the best way I found to do that is not only by doing these videos, but providing one-on-one consultations with myself, helping you find a roadmap and create a strategy using facts, maths, and my vast amount of knowledge to build wealth. Now, if that sounds pretty good to you, feel free to click the link in the description or in my bio. First session is absolutely free. I'm keen to just help out, get the ball rolling, get you started. So yeah, go. But wait, there's more. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found a ton of value out of this video. I'm not going to go and tell you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, because I'm sure you will if you did. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Cheers. This is exclusively general advice. This isn't personal or financial advice. This is completely for entertainment and educational purposes.